Well, hello and welcome to this Monday Daily. We have Base and Dark Ages, and this kingdom looks very interesting, or probably also not very interesting, depending on your views on how interesting kingdoms should look like. But yeah, when I played this one on the train this morning, had a I didn't have much of a strategy apart from something I'll get into in a bit. But after thinking about it a bit and actually also testing some stuff out, I think I found quite a nice winning strategy that works like 9 out of 10 times. And yeah, therefore I think this one is interesting as it has some non-obvious things going on. First, yeah, let's look at this kingdom without the camera here, and you can read the cards now. There are, I think, 5 base cards, or, well, let's count Workshop, Market, Mine, and Throne Room is 4 base cards, and 5 Dark Ages cards, and one of those Dark Ages piles actually is the Knights pile, which alternate or which will randomly shuffle in those knights, which you can see over here. They all trash opponent's cards, costing between 3 and 6, and get trashed if they trash another knight. So they counter them each other, apparently, most obviously, but they all also have certain special bonuses, boni, I'm not sure. And yeah, the most interesting knights probably would be Sir Bailey and Sir Destry and Sir Michael here, as Bailey is just a cantrip, Destry is actual draw, which is a thing this kingdom is lacking, where there is no draw whatsoever. And maybe Dame Anna early on is okay for trashing down quickly, and Sir Michael, well, it's quite a devastating attack, even in later stages of the game. But yeah, we most likely will skip knights here. Yeah, looking at this kingdom, card by card, we, as I said, notice that there is no draw whatsoever, and that makes things very interesting. If we look at the kingdom plot, that one tells us as well there is no draw. Well, as I said, Destry is there as well, but you cannot count on getting that. So I don't count knights as being any sort of draw, of course. And yeah, that means you're actually permanently stuck with cards with hands of up to 5 cards. And that means that, well, you cannot really build this one of those magnificent engines that draws deck, but rather you will have to live with what you have in your hand each time. The only exception being Market, which can draw you other cards, but doesn't increase or decrease your hand size, and, well, Throne Room in combination with Markets, probably. So my initial thought here was to just thin down using Altar and then get a bunch of markets, a few throne rooms, a few golds, and go for provinces. So a very money-ish strategy. And while that did work out in my first run, it seemed very shaky. I was very dependent on my markets and throne rooms colliding, and I think I got quite lucky actually that they did. So yeah, actually, the strategy to go for here, in my opinion, which works best, is just is centered around this very innocent-looking card, and usually a very weak card. I think it's just been ranked in the Thunder Dominion rankings as the weakest card that has an on-trash effect or something like that, and that is Feodum. Because Feodum is just worth 1 victory point per 3 silvers we have, and not more. And also, when we trash it, we gain 3 silvers. So if we trash our Feoda, then we won't have them in our deck anymore, but at least we will have 3 silvers. And situationally, this can be a good accelerant of payload. But here, really, Feoda are a valid source of victory points, because the game is going to go on very long. Even if AI just goes for a very simple alter market gold strategy and tries to pile out the provinces, 8 provinces with just 5 card hands is a lot and takes a long time, especially if you then pivot into duchies in between. So you have quite some time to go for the strategy. And yeah, my idea of the strategy just involves, well, getting lots of silvers and maybe a mine and an altar to get rid of the shelters, a mine to get rid of the coppers, turn them into silvers, never turning silvers into golds, just thinning out the coppers. The altar can turn cards into markets, and once we have a lot of markets and silvers, we just buy more silvers. And then suddenly the Feoda are going to be worth as much as provinces or even more. And then, only then, once they are worth like 6 victory points, we pivot into buying out those Feoda. Notably, there is also a similar strategy that uses workshops. I've seen someone on the Discord that used those in a strategy that he simulated, Geronimo, and that also seems to work well. Maybe I'll try out this strategy later, but the thing is just, for both strategies, it's very beneficial that AI does not contest the Feoda at all, and just goes for this province duchy deck, and that, of course, makes things easy-ish. Yeah, as I said, I've experimented with this. I've had one run where both my mine and altar collided in nasty ways, and the rogue triggered then nasty shuffles, which I lost against the AI strategy, but lots of other runs where I just went for those silvers and everything worked out splendidly. So yeah, that's the interesting strategy advice I would give here. Opening wise, if we are going for this strategy, we just open silver silver on the 3-4, and on the 5-2, I think mine nothing is a really good opening, as you will turn those coppers into silvers early on. And mine is not a bad card in our deck anyways. And if we hit 5 on the first reshuffle, we will also go for mine. If we hit 6, we go for altar. If we hit both, which is possible but rather unlikely, we also go for both. And then after we have the mine as the first 5, we just go for markets. And in the meanwhile, stock up on silvers. So yeah, that's the strategy advice I would give here. But of course, this workshop, like stocking up on 4 workshops and then just going for silvers for a bit and then going for the Feoda might just be as effective. I don't know. The nice thing about the double silver opening is that you're rather likely to hit 5. I say this as we do not hit 5 on this hand, but maybe we'll hit 5 on the next hand. Yeah, we do hit 6. And yeah, you shouldn't be afraid of just buying silvers. That's really fine. There will be nice cards later on in your deck. And yeah, here, as I said, the first 5 can be a mine, in my opinion. Now here we hit 6 again, and since we have 2 terminals already, we shouldn't go for more altar or mine, just market should be good. And here, let's trash the overgrown estate in hopes of finding another copper and not drawing that any action. Yeah, great. And then that means we can just buy another silver. Feodum already with the hovel in hand could be an option. I think right now, actually, let me think about this a bit more. Essentially, it's one fewer stop card for another shuffle, while already being points, but also, yeah, it's one fewer silver that we will have. Actually, since we hit exactly 4, I'm not too opposed to this. But yeah, here we hit a 6 here. This could either be double silver or market, but yeah, as I said, just as long as the markets are there, just go for those. Here we can mine into a silver and go for market silver. This is 5 again, our altar is on the bottom. Now here the AI snatches another market. And I think I'm content on just trashing a necropolis and getting this market and the altar back into the shuffle, so not triggering here. This is something you kind of want to look out for in those money-ish strategies, that if you have good hands towards the end of the shuffle, sometimes it's worth not triggering. Here, hitting 6 is kind of a nuisance. It's not great, but for now, I think I'm fine just going for more silvers. Let's hope this mine finds a copper to mine. Amazing, and already we do hit 10, get to buy 3 silvers, and the altar is on the bottom of the shuffle again, but that's fine. And the AI, well, it's actually the bottom card. Yeah, the AI goes for provinces, is at 16 victory points, so far ahead, it seems. We unfortunately do not hit the triple silver here, but yeah, I can just go for 2. Now here, let's see what we hit again. Well, 8. 8 is not great at this stage. We should prefer to hit 9. Now here, there's an interesting decision as to whether we contest the provinces or we just go for a Feodum already or another silver. It's a bit unfortunate we hit 9 without any plus buy. But yeah, going for provinces has the risk of stumbling into AI just finishing the provinces somehow. So I think I like already picking up a Feodum. The AI has also picked up a Feodum, I think. Or have we gone already for 2 of them? I'm not sure. Yeah, we can just triple silver here and pick up yet another Feodum. The mine has done a good job at thinning out a few of our coppers, but now it can go in favor of another Feodum, and this should be just double silver. And as you see, we jump up from 24 to 28 victory points, so we do have 4 Feoda. And since we are close in victory points to AI, I'm not super opposed to getting a province here, as Feoda will be more affordable in the future. Now, yeah, hopefully we'll draw at least a copper for double Feodum. And yeah, we do. And now, well, we do get to think about, I got Dame Josephine. We do get to think about whether we want to trash a silver or a Feodum. I think if we trash the silver, we temporarily lose a few victory points, but we're not at risk. If we trash the Feodum, our future Feoda will be worth, or the remaining 5 Feoda will be worth 1 more victory point. Actually, I'm super unsure as what it might be better, so let's trash the silver for now. I think it's fine. And we do hit Feodum silver again. Here I don't want to buy a duchy, as AI's altar could result in an easy duchy, and it could buy the second one then. And regaining the silver that we just had to trash is just a much better thing to do. And this will probably be triple silver again, and that should really seal the deal, as this will be 7 more victory points. And yeah, could think about, yeah, here of course we do trash the Feodum to altar, even though this lowers our total score, as we will be able to just buy out the last 2 duchies. And yeah, as you saw, this was a long game, 23 turns, and we were quite behind for a long time. Like AI was ahead by, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 victory points, and then only towards the end we were closing in. But the problem is that AI's deck, I mean, it had those golds, silvers, and coppers, and then also this lone throne room and market. But AI's deck, yeah, kind of fizzled out, failed to hit provinces anymore, and thus, yeah, didn't really achieve that much. For this strategy, I think I recommend going for knights only if Bailey or Destry, no, well, Destry not even. If Sir Bailey is on top, the cantrip knight, or maybe if Sir Michael is on top, these can be quite devastating. In that case, in a case you go for Sir Michael, you maybe skip the mine to not have risk too much terminal collision, as early on your deck is rather thin with the altar trashing stuff and just going for markets. Yeah, I wonder how much faster the workshop strategy really is, or how much more victory points it can gain, but whatever you do, I think you just skip throne rooms as they are too much of a liability or risk, and yeah, you just go for this nice Feodum deck. In the end, our Feoda were worth 9 victory points each, and it was an interesting and fun deck to build. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. This time, since I'm recording late, Pianist has already published his collage of kingdom cards, and as always, to make it a bit more difficult, I'll not show the kingdom, but rather just show the collage first. You can see it here, and pause the video here and well, try to find 8 hidden images or parts of images from the kingdom we just saw. I'm going to show the kingdom again right now. And yeah, some things should be fairly obvious. Of course, this is just the rogue guy. You can well, you cannot see my cursor, so I have to use this weird cursor again. You see the rogue guy here, and this guy in the back of the rogue guy is that smallish guy from mine. We have Feodum. Well, you can't see it here. Confused, but here, this is just the background scenery. So those were the easy ones. Now, maybe a tiny bit harder is the wheel from Death card that's hidden there. Then even harder are those 2 trees, which curiously come from Altar. And now the red band in the background is also rather easy, especially since it's the top knight currently. It's named Molly. And now the last 2 took me a bit to find, and the first one is actually Poorhouse, smuggled in with the buildings of Feodum here, like this building over here does not belong there. And then this Lonesome Knight, that of course is Sir Vander. Let's see whether we can get a glimpse of Sir Vander. It's kind of in the background there. Sorry. There we go. That's the Lonesome Knight there. And I think this sums up all of the 8. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this the discussion of the collage in the end also. But yeah, in general, very fun kingdom because of the non-obvious strategy, like when do you go for Feodum decks, but really against this provincing, duchying strategy, I think it's usually very effective. And yeah, I don't know what else to add, so I'll just end it here and we'll try to catch you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.